For a long time, the Kremlin operated under a fundamental assumption. Its warships, when sailing within Russia's own extensive inland waterways, were completely untouchable. This belief was the very foundation of its naval doctrine. Now, the Black Sea, well, that was always a different story. That area had turned into a graveyard for Russian naval pride, a fiercely contested zone where Ukrainian sea drones and missiles ruled the waves. Russia, honestly, had learned the hard way to expect losses there. But an attack on a Russian naval vessel far from those contested waters, deep within the territorial heart of the Federation? That was, until now, considered impossible. Until, well, it wasn't. Ukraine has just pulled off a breathtaking long-range strike, one that's not only taken out one of Russia's newest warships, but has also shattered Moscow's long-held illusion of security. This attack has sent shockwaves rippling through the Russian command structure. The target of this remarkable strike, the small missile ship Grad, hull number 575, was a real point of pride for the Russian Federation's Navy. It belonged to Project 21631, better known as the Bayan M class of corvettes. These are the modern, versatile warships Putin has promoted part of his naval modernization program. The Grad was a relatively new addition, commissioned into the Russian Baltic Fleet on December 29, 2022. Because of its newness expected to be in top shape more advanced than older Soviet-era vessels. So, its loss is not just material, but symbolic, the destruction of a modern asset. Bayan M vessels are River Sea-class ships, operate in coastal areas and Russia's inland waterways. That capability lets them project power from sheltered locations. The Grad's main armament was the Kaliber NK cruise missile system. It could launch land attack cruise missiles with a range up to 2,500 kilometers. The details of the attack, released with calculated precision by Ukraine's Special Operations Forces, are a masterclass in information warfare. They really paint a picture of a meticulously planned and flawlessly executed mission, sending a clear message of capability and reach. In a statement posted to Telegram, a primary digital battleground in this conflict, the SSO confirmed both the time and the outcome of their operation. Their post was characteristically direct, leaving no room for ambiguity. At 0431 on October 4, 2025, the specificity of that timestamp is deliberate, signaling near-perfect intelligence. As a result of successful actions of one of the units of the Special Operations Forces, the small missile ship Grad was hit in Lake Onega, Republic of Karelia, the message read. This location is staggering, deep within Russia, demonstrating an audacious long-range capability. This was not some random strike in the dark. It was a pre-dawn attack targeting an active, moving vessel. Hitting a warship underway requires a completely different level of operational prowess than striking a static port. The Grad wasn't just sitting at a pier, it was on a mission. According to the SSO's report, the missile corvette was in the process of a strategic redeployment. The missile carrier was sailing from the Baltic to the Caspian Sea. This transit through Russia's internal canal system was supposed to be a routine, safe passage, but Ukraine turned this perceived strength into a vulnerability. The Grad is a Bayan M-class corvette, a platform for the deadly Kaliber cruise missile. Maybe the ship was being moved to bolster the southern flank, or to position Kaliber strikes from a less expected direction. This was a key strategic asset being repositioned. The strike hit the right part of the ship's engine compartment, deliberate aim to disable and cripple. This is a classic mission kill. The goal wasn't to sink the Grad, but to render it useless, requiring a lengthy, expensive repair process. This was an escalation of a developing campaign. August 14th saw Port Olya hit at about 640 kilometers. This attack is the latest move in a broader strategy of active defense, proactively degrading Russia's ability to wage war. The attack wasn't just a tactical victory, it was a strategic message, proving that even high-value assets far from the front lines were now vulnerable. The stunning success immediately raises a key question. What weapon did Ukraine actually use? The SSO has stayed silent, strategic ambiguity as a tactical masterstroke. By not revealing details, Ukraine forces a frantic guessing game, complicating countermeasures. Russia must now consider a whole spectrum of threats, stretching its already strained air defenses thin. Every port, every ship, every air defense battery must be re-evaluated against an unknown and unpredictable threat. Two categories fit the profile: long-range drones and advanced cruise missiles. Each presents a unique set of challenges for air defense systems, but the evidence would soon point more strongly toward one than the other. Western-supplied missiles are out, politically restricted and lacking the necessary range. Potent systems like the Storm Shadow or Scalp come with strict agreements limiting their use on Russian territory, making a strike of this nature politically unfeasible for Kiev's partners. The weapon was Ukrainian in origin, born of a resilient, innovative defense industry. Kiev invested early, anticipating limits on donated systems, to build deep strike tools. This foresight wasn't just about military strategy. It was a declaration of technological independence, a drive to create solutions tailored specifically to Ukraine's needs. Striking deep disrupts logistics and brings the war home to Russia's leadership and public. It shatters the illusion of safety far from the front lines, forcing a psychological and strategic recalculation of the war's cost. A long-range drone strike appears the most plausible scenario for the attack on the Grad. Drones are cheaper to produce than cruise missiles, can be deployed in swarms to overwhelm defenses, and their evasive, low-altitude flight paths are notoriously difficult to counter. By April 2024, officials spoke openly of 700 to 1,000 kilometer drones, and beyond. The UJ-26 Beaver, introduced in 2023, has struck deep targets and can reach roughly 1,000 kilometers. Its 20-kilo payload is modest, but a precise hit to the engine compartment can be decisive. The Liu-T, effective range at least 1,000 kilometers, with upgraded variants even farther. Crucially, it carries around 75 kilograms, nearly 4 times the Beaver. In 2024, it became a workhorse, reportedly used in up to 80% of refinery strikes. Ukraine has mass-produced long-range drones. We have really increased the production. Their range is now 1,000 kilometers plus. This isn't about single prototypes, but an industrialized capability that can sustain a long-term strategic campaign. The Grad strike is a lethal manifestation of this surge in industrial and technological capacity. Drones now hunt valuable assets with terrifying efficiency and precision. It proves Ukraine's drone program has matured from a tactical tool into a formidable strategic weapon, capable of reshaping the balance of the war. While a drone remains the most probable culprit, given its cost-effectiveness and Ukraine's proven success with naval drones, the possibility of a new long-range missile cannot be dismissed. The ambiguity itself is a weapon, forcing Russian commanders to guess. This strike could be a signal, a demonstration of a burgeoning domestic capability designed to overcome one of Kiev's biggest strategic hurdles. For years, Ukraine has pushed hard to develop its own family of cruise missiles, a necessity born from the restrictions placed on Western-supplied weapons. Allies providing these systems have stipulated they not be used for strikes deep inside Russian territory. To truly take the fight to the source, Kiev knew it needed its own arsenal. Enter the Long Neptune, a significant evolution of the R-360 Neptune anti-ship missile that famously sank the Moskva in 2022. That historic success provided the impetus and expertise to adapt the platform. Now it's reportedly been re-engineered primarily for land attack missions, boasting an extraordinary projected range. While official figures are secret, credible estimates place its reach between 1,000 and 3,000 kilometers. The Onega corvette in Murmansk, therefore, sits comfortably within this threat bubble. Intriguingly, reports suggest the missile's nose cone and tail section remain largely unmodified from the original anti-ship version. This implies it retains the same seeker and guidance hardware, a shared DNA with its maritime hunter predecessor. This detail is crucial. It means that while the Long Neptune's primary focus may be ground targets, it could plausibly still threaten naval vessels, making it a versatile and unpredictable weapon. For Russia's Navy, it means no port is truly safe. Another candidate is the shadowy Flamingo, a rumored cruise missile drone hybrid. This weapon reportedly matches the long Neptune's impressive 3,000-kilometer range, but carries a colossal 1.15 metric ton payload. Such a warhead is far too powerful, and the asset far too valuable, to be used on a small corvette. A weapon of this class is a strategic sledgehammer, reserved for high-value, hardened targets like command bunkers, critical infrastructure nodes, or the Kerch Bridge itself. Ultimately, simple attritional logic still favors drones. The economic calculus is undeniable. Risking a $200,000 Luti drone to destroy or damage a $70 million warship is a trade Ukraine will make every time. But whether it was a drone or a new missile, the uncertainty itself is a strategic victory. It forces Russia to divert immense resources to defend against a wide and growing spectrum of threats, stretching defenses thin and creating gaps. And the strike on the Onega wasn't an isolated incident. October 4th was a particularly dark day for Russia's war machine, showcasing the breadth of Ukraine's campaign. Far from Murmansk, Ukrainian drones struck the Kirishneftyorsk Syntez refinery near St. Petersburg, one of Russia's largest. A months-long campaign of systematic strikes has reportedly taken about 40% of its refining capacity offline. The consequences are cascading. Domestic fuel shortages, price hikes, and severe logistical headaches for a military that runs on diesel. On that very same day, in the Kursk region, Ukrainian forces located and destroyed a transporter load for a Russian Iskander ballistic missile system, along with a sophisticated Garmin radar. The Iskander is a weapon, and the Garmin radar is electric, taking both out in a single blow. The loss of a modern warship like the Grad is devastating for any navy. But for Russia, the pain is uniquely acute. Replacing it is proving almost impossible. Shipbuilding is in crisis. Sanctions have cut off high-tech components, machinery, and foreign expertise. Rosmorport canceled a $200 million contract with Onega Shipbuilding for 2 icebreakers. Onega, the very lake where the Grad was hit, now a symbol of stalled ambitions. Reports say Khabarovsk laid off about 70% of its workforce. Only about 90 remain. No new orders, no money, no materials for large-scale shipbuilding. Every warship Ukraine sinks becomes a permanent reduction, attrition in shipyards as well as at sea. The Navy is defenseless in 2 ways, against strikes and against attrition. The Grad's destruction signals a deeper shift in naval warfare. With virtually no traditional navy, Ukraine projects lethal power across vast distances. An asymmetric doctrine, lighter, smarter, more precise weapons, delivering disproportionate damage. The idea of a safe zone has been rewritten. Distance and geography no longer guarantee safety. Ships in the Baltic, Caspian, or Barents may now fall inside a Ukrainian engagement envelope. Command must choose, risk its best ships, or pull them back and concede the seas. Ukraine is rewriting the rules of the game, and Russia is losing badly.